Yeah, yeah, I figured I'd start with greetings, peaceful inhabitants, and whatever else you want to be called, or answer to. See here. I just open discussion. Anybody wants to call in and talk, we'll discuss pretty much anything at all. I'm game. Let me unmute. There.
Hello?
Yeah. Hello.
Yeah.
How's it going?
Good. Um, yeah, I've been listening to these calls. You can hear me okay?
Yeah, it sounds fine to me anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been listening to these calls for several months. I've listened to all the recordings. I've been studying this stuff for about 6 years now, and I can't disagree with anything that you've put forward. It all rings true, and the only final hurdle that I'm struggling with right now is how to deal with the people. It's a personal thing. It's gone beyond understanding this whole thing. It's the interaction, face to face, person to person. That's the biggest obstacle I'm facing now.
Yeah, well, look in the mirror and remember, it's not the mirror you're talking to.
Yeah.
I know it gets frustrating, and think of it as I'm learning more and more every day to have patience with it, and have fun with it. Enjoy the moment.
I'm trying to get there. I've been in a state of frustration for years now, going through the anger phase and the frustration and trying to learn what's really going on. I pretty much get it. It doesn't intimidate me or anything. I've been going through 2 years of interaction with the IRS, back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, and it can kind of get on your nerves. I want to put a period and an end. What I want to do is actually sit down at the table with someone face to face, flesh to flesh, and have a true meeting of the minds to where we can actually discuss this and put our cards on the table and openly discuss this. And this is a very people who claim that they're representing a government do not want to. They have to see everything in the negative. They have to see a person. They have to name, tag, and label.
Could you be assuming?
Well, the thing is, what option do any state agents have? What option do they have?
The option they have is when they come to a position where they are unsure of what they're doing, is they call in the supervisor, and you work your way up the ladder with these people.
Yeah.
It's the front lines you're dealing with, and they're only on a need-to-know basis. The thing of it is, can you remember, they're our brothers and sisters. Forget the government, forget the IRS. Those are all illusions, fictions.
Right.
If they believe they exist in their minds. The point of the matter is what you're dealing with, the individual across the table.
Yeah.
Now, can you touch base with him or her? You see, and show them that you truly mean to help, and you want to help settle the matter, and you want the best for everybody. You see.
What I'm finding, well, I've been doing this through correspondence, through letters, back and forth, back and forth. This has gone from all there's agencies all over the United States, IRS, and my letters and correspondence have gone to all of them, Philadelphia, Ogden, all of them, and I've written back and forth with these people, and it's like a comedy of errors. It's like I'm saying one thing, and they're saying another thing, and we just cannot seem to connect,
Are they saying another thing? I used to look at a lot of correspondence I got from it, and as I learned, I found that they were giving me the answers in every letter. There was an answer in
it. They're all 45-day notices. This has been going on for over 2 years. They're all 45-day notices. We can't really answer this right now. Give us 45 days and we'll get back with you. And then they send it. And they send it all over the country to all these different other branches. It's been around to 7 or 8 different IRS branches. Now, I started off doing the launching into the Robert Menard, Winston Shrout. I started off doing the commercial thing. I was making a demand for money, right? I was making a demand on behalf of the name, the registered trade name.
Yeah.
Now, I stopped that. When you helped me, these broadcasts helped me turn a huge corner. I just made a left turn. And once I understood, everything revolves around making a claim. Everything revolves around a controversy. And the only way you can cause a controversy is to make a claim. You're casting the first stone. You have unclean hands. Whoever makes the initial claim has his hands dirty. And then when you make a claim against them and they make a claim against you, now the judges, the court system works in a negative capacity. They're working with they're choosing the lesser of two evils.
Well, and could that be the government?
Well, I've had to step back.
See, the people working for the government in a claim on a name, and then you go in and you say, wait a minute, that's my name. Now you put in a counterclaim right there.
Exactly. It took me a long time to figure that out. It took me a long time.
Me, 20, 25 years or better studying this stuff.
Man.
So bad. It just dawned on me one day.
But it's everything becomes so simple after that, because I have the power. It's my choice.
Yeah.
50% of the agreement is on my side of the fence. I have the choice. It's up to my prerogative whether I make a claim or not. Now, why would I make a claim?
Well, can you prove you own anything? Every time I ask somebody that, what do you really own? And they always say, nothing.
No one can. You can't make. There's only two kinds of claims. There's a claim of right and a claim of ownership. Why would you?
Do you really have either? And it comes right down to it.
You don't. No one does. No one does.
That's the way I see it.
So in other words, what I'm attempting to do at this point is I want to interact in a very calm, rational, friendly, cordial way with all of the agencies and everyone I'm dealing with. There's a property tax issue which I haven't dealt with. Yeah, I dealt with it commercially a couple of years, right? Accepted for value and all that stuff. Never went anywhere, right? Okay. I finally, when I listened to what you guys were talking about, it was like a ton of bricks. Why in the hell am I making claims? Why would I do that? It's false. You can't make a claim. You can't make a claim.
Well, you can. Can you back it up?
Well,
you can claim what you want.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
You can't. You can't make a claim in the legal or commercial world because the state claims ownership of everything there, and you can't make a claim in the natural universe because God owns everything.
Slow down. That's a misnomer. How can the state claim to own anything?
Well, I know that the agents for the state make that claim on behalf of the state.
Yeah, but listen to how ludicrous that is.
I know. I know.
All these gurus and stuff saying the state claims ownership. The state owns everything, but the state's a fiction.
Exactly.
So who's shitting who here?
It's insanity. It's crazy, and I'm trying to walk on solid ground.
You'll be walking on water. You get it straight, brother.
Yeah.
I'm serious. It's amazing.
Yeah.
You'll see. They'll treat you with honor. You just got to stay on point with them, and I mean, live it and mean it. I've seen it happen with me.
Yeah.
I don't know. You guys on the computers, can you hear us?
I can hear you on the phone.
Yeah, that's why I know you guys on the phone are hearing us.
Greetings.
Hey.
But yeah, dealing with the IRS and stuff, forget the IRS. You're just dealing with your brothers and sisters, man.
Right.
So,
I've
yeah.
been on the phone with them, and I've corresponded with them. I've been on the phone, and I went down to the office here. I live here in
Yeah, it takes
Los
time,
Angeles.
though. Patience.
I went down.
Yeah, patience
Yeah,
with them.
it was. I liked the experience though. I went down to the office and I'm looking through the glass at this lady, and I'm trying to explain to her. Well, you see, here's the evidence. Here I'd like to just present evidence, and I'd like to talk to you. And she just kept shoving the papers under the window. She kept just pushing. No, this is yours, and this is yours, and
That's
this is
fine.
your talk. And I'm like, it's like they're trying to shove a sword in your hand or boxing gloves and saying, here, these are yours. Put them on and fight with me. Make a claim.
Well, the thing of it is, you go in there, I believe there's a mistake in this matter, and is there somebody I can speak with,
Yeah.
That's all, and the point of it is,
And you have to just be patient. And
Is it a crime for anybody to use the name? The names, all them names are there for people to use.
I didn't realize that all of us are conducting business on behalf of the corporation of that name that's registered with the county.
No, there you go, corporation. It's a fiction.
It's a fiction.
It's just a tool. See,
just like Target and Walmart is it's not the physical building, it's not the machines, it's not the fact, it's not the fleet of trucks, it's not the employees or the clothes or the items. The corporation is the only thing they have in the county records. The name Target is the corporation, just the name.
It's just a tool.
It's a tool, exactly, like a screwdriver or a hammer.
Right, and if it's used properly, nobody gets hurt.
Right.
The problem is, why do you think the so-called United States and the people that believe they're citizens are under martial law?
Well,
it's a police state. In their minds, that's what it is. But why?
Whatever you believe in your beliefs and your opinions, that's what's real to you. It's real. This is what I've been finding. That's why I'm saying it's difficult to talk to people, because whatever they believe in their minds is real, and it's like you always say. Well, don't let me get in the way of your happiness and success. Whatever people believe, that's their reality. It's real.
Right. But the thing of it is, you turn around and
I'm struggling a little bit. I've kind of in the last couple of years I've alienated, friends and family, because I was trying to push things too far, and I just have to back off. And you know what? It's like asking someone their opinion. What's your opinion of this? And they give a long tirade on this is what I think and this is my opinion. And then who am I to turn to them and say, well, your opinion is wrong? There's no such thing as a wrong opinion. The opinion is an opinion. Hello?
Hello.
Yeah, I thought I got knocked off there. So who's this?
This is Schmeldrick.
Schmelgrit?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm Bob.
How you doing?
Good.
Yeah, I'm listening to the. I've
What?
heard the conversations for a while now, and researched, listened to the archives of what that man's been talking about, and a few other organizations,
Yeah.
in this country and in Canada. I think Dick Beck up there.
Yeah.
And it's some interesting ideas.
Yeah.
Like, I agree with what you said, talking to other people about it, and you used the you used the correct word. I don't believe you're trying to push it. You're just trying to explain an idea, and somehow or another the wall goes up and you run into it, and there it is. The alienation happens.
Well, I'm asking people to back off and think twice about what it is you believe in, and then people interpret that as me pushing my beliefs on that. I'm not trying to push any beliefs. I'm trying to I'm questioning it, and I'm saying, why do you believe this when there is other evidence to the contrary?
Well, that's kind of it. Like, most people aren't aware of the other evidence, and then you're challenging their belief system, and
that's a serious thing. That's a very
I mean, it's like if someone's been, I've heard it said, if someone's been in the dark for a long, long time, and then you shine a light at them, they may either embrace the light or they may lash out at it, because it hurts their eye.
Right.
Yeah, that's like the analogy with Plato's cave.
Right.
Or to explain that way. And, I believe being open-minded to new ideas rather than being a statue like set in stone.
Right.
And I find most people that way because either through fear, well, the two responses, fear or flight.
Yeah.
And
then there's the fight response too, and that'll launch you in hot water.
Yeah, you're correct about that. Yeah, so it puts almost everything, and the right word is controversy.
Right. Everything boils down to controversy, and the only way you can create a controversy, which is the only thing that courts can deal with. That's the only thing they can deal with is a controversy. And the only way you can create a controversy is if someone makes a claim and someone else makes a counterclaim. It's like the two
exactly.
kids.
It has to be a challenge and then an acceptance of the challenge.
Right. So if my prerogative is I choose not to make the claim, there's no controversy.
Correct.
Now the next step would be, well, then if you don't claim anything, then someone else is going to come in and claim that it's theirs, and then they'll walk away with everything, and you'll be left high and dry because you won't have
sounds like an
anything.
assumption.
Yeah.
And that's what I see most people, they right away, how could this, they think you're trying to get something for nothing, or, not realizing the whole thing is make-believe. There is nothing to get for nothing.
Right.
And, I find that's where a lot of the resistance comes in.
Have y'all seen that movie Kingdom of Heaven?
No.
At the end where Balian asks Salahuddin, what is Jerusalem worth? And he turns to him and he says, nothing. Then he walks away, turns around and smiles and says, everything.
Yeah. And that's not a contradiction.
No, it's not. No, not in the broader sense of the stroke.
Right, because because you can say that all of this symbolism that we see around us and all of this and this and this, it's all evil and it's that, and they're taking advantage and they're bad and they're coming after you and you have to hassle them and all this stuff. However, at the exact same time, everything is benign. It's all meaningless. It's all benign.
A matter of perspective.
Right.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah, I find to gain that perspective, all you need to do is stop accusing people. Once you stop accusing people, then, all right, then if I'm not accusing anyone, there can't be an evil Illuminati taking, or if there is some group, maybe what I perceive to be evil intent really is for some greater good that I'm ignorant of.
I've been
go ahead.
Well, I've been struggling a little bit, but trying to figure out, is the system that's in place right now, is it really for the greater good? Is it really doing a service? Because it's organizing people. People are working. People are, if everyone's selfish and everyone has their little plot of land all over the earth, and everyone says, this is mine and you can't have it, and I'm keeping it, maybe the system is actually kind of working, even though people get overcome by tax burdens, people end up committing suicide and losing their homes and their children and divorce, and a lot of things happen because we get overburdened with what we think are obligations that we owe.
I'll agree with that.
But overall, is the system maybe a good thing because it's actually keeping everyone in check? And I've been railing against the system, but I've stopped doing that now, and I'm taking pause and saying, well, what's my role in all this? What should I do in all this?
Yeah, I mean, I hear you. I was railing against it too for a long time, but again, I believe I'm ignorant of the true nature, purpose, and scope of the system, so where the hell do I get off trying to tear it down or do anything to it? And especially there's a lot of people that are fine with the system. They have no desire, and that might be the beauty of it. It'll accommodate you whether you want to just never question a thing or if you want to question everything,
Right. It definitely accommodates.
You.
Yeah, it definitely accommodates people that agree with it. And most of the people that I've been in contact my entire life agree with it. They go along with it. They go, yes, I'm an American, I'm a citizen, I'm a resident, I'm a taxpayer, I should pay my taxes, it helps do this, it helps do that. And everyone rolls right along with it. And I've never known anyone that doesn't think that way. So it definitely accommodates them. Now, what if you...
Well, does it accommodate them? Because those same people often find themselves in predicaments they have no idea, to get out of, or they think they're
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, once the steamroller goes over them and they end up losing everything, including their lives sometimes, then they'll wake up a little bit to maybe this wasn't such a good idea to live under a king. In other words, what we do is we trade in our real, what does it say, in the Bible, you traded in your true inheritance for a bowl of porridge. Why would you want a king to oppress you when you are free to use anything in the universe?
No, it tells you all he's going to do is take.
Right.
Well, possibly because of the usurpation of ideas by if for lack of a better term, maybe a control group, or also known as government in different, institutions that have arisen through time. They don't really tolerate too much independent thought or questioning of their authority. Because you can see that when you're a child, how they want to beat the light out of you, so to speak. If you're always questioning things and you're inquisitive, and I think someone, one of the callers last week called in and made the point about, you ask your parents about this and they tell you something and eventually everybody laughs because they know it's just all BS. They have no answer.
Yeah, and when you're a young child, you're under the protection and care of your parents, and you don't mind being instructed and told what to do and everything. But you reach an age at which you say, you know what, I think I'd like to think for myself, and I think I'd like
you
to
think you know something.
Well, you don't need to be treated the way you were treated when you were 7 years old. When you're 23 years old, you don't really need to be treated the same way you were when you're 9 or 11 years old.
I don't know. I've met some people of that age that lead me to believe otherwise.
Yeah, well, I've known people who, they've been that way and they throw dirt on them. So that's an argument that they might grow up in stature physically and in years, but their mentality is still at that level when you knew them in the playground.
Yeah, that's
it's working for them. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I mean, I'm not a mind reader. I remember my dad used to always say that, and that's one of the things that interests me about this, the deal with the name, where I was named after my dad. And when I was, I was the oldest and only son, and when my mother would call his name, both of us would answer.
I'll tell you
and then
when
I was in the Marines, one time, what was it? I said something to the drill instructor, and he said, "You," and he says, "Am I a female sheep?" And then the language part, you tie that in with the serpent in the Bible, all the symbol, because if nobody spoke, you could just watch what they did and find out what they were about.
Right. By observation and interaction with them silently.
Right, and then
language
Yeah, and that's the whole thing. Then what happens if you got the written word, and you try to, because most people don't want to read in this culture because of the fact that everything is somewhat prepackaged in television. All you got to do is sit down and entertain yourself, till you get up and go hook up to the chain in the morning and do your 8 hours, and, you can do 40 years and die.
Right.
And most people are content with that.
Right, and I've never understood that. I've never identified with it, and there's something inside me that just cannot do it. I just can't do it. I can't take orders. I can't have demands placed on me. I can't make people feel that I'm a transgressor or a sinner or I'm a debtor or I have financial obligations. There's something inside of me that says that's all false. I just can't abide it. And I want to know why are people handing me bills and obligations, and why is it that I feel deep in my heart it's all nonsense? And yet these people start getting real serious and real adamant. And, friends, family, government agents, they start getting real.
It's all part of the testing.
Yeah, I mean,
it could be. I mean, I've been like this for the last 35 years personally.
Yeah.
And there's been a growing outgrowth of Batman's programs and these other individuals that have thought on the same lines, and it's just maybe this happens. We know that they rewrite history,
right?
And we're not getting the true shake on that.
No,
you know what I'm saying?
And everything is speculative and opinionated and whatever. I don't know what happened beyond the four walls of this house I'm in right here. I don't know any of that stuff. Getting back to the name thing, you were mentioning that you were named after your dad, right?
Right. Uh-huh.
I spent a lot of time studying. I got certified copies of the birth certificate, and I really took a look at those real hard. And what I found was very interesting information on there. First of all, there's a registered name and there's a recorded name. Those are two different things. It's like there should be two different certificates, but they mesh them together into one certificate, and they will only ever talk to you about the recorded name.
Okay.
But in my case, I live in Los Angeles County, and under Los Angeles County, Connie B. McCormick is the registrar recorder for, and it's called Registrar-Recorder County of Los Angeles.
Okay.
Now, she's a registrar recorder. That means she recorded a live birth based on, there's two statements on that. The first statement is from the informant, and under that category comes parent or guardian or whoever the hell the informant is.
Right.
The informant signs under penalty of perjury that the information on here is true and correct to the best of my knowledge. That's the first informant. Underneath that is the attendant, and that's the hospital attendant who was there.
Right.
And he also signs a sworn statement saying, I certify the information on this is true and correct to the best of my knowledge, right?
Like an affidavit, yeah.
Right. So you have the informant signature and you have the attendant's signature. And then you also have it, but the document was recorded, and it recorded the birth of a live child with that given name that your mom and dad gave you. That when you called that all through your childhood, that's your given name. It was recorded by Connie B. McCormick here in Los Angeles County. Connie B. McCormick recorded that name. But she's a registrar/recorder. So she did two things when she filed that document. She recorded that name, the name of the live child, sworn under those statements. But she registered the capitalized commercial, corporate, legal trade name. Now, that's my examination of the birth certificate. It's printed on bond paper, Midwest Bank Corporation.
Mine says American Banknote on the left-hand corner in the trim.
Right. Mine says Midwest Bank Corporation, and it has a barcode on it, and it has, you know what I mean? It's a commercial document.
Sure, yeah.
Now,
or the watermark paper. Yeah,
anytime you're passing money back and forth to someone, that's a commercial transaction. That's corporation to corporation, and that's using that registered commercial corporate legal trade name that Connie B. McCormick, in my case, she registered that name for commercial use. I'm Bob. I never went down to the county recorder and registered a commercial trade name for me to do business, for money to change hands. I never registered that name. Connie B. McCormick registered that name that I've been using for commercial purposes. See, human beings don't need money. I need a sandwich, I need a banana, and you need a VCR. We don't need money. But corporations trade money back and forth. And the name, and I've always been identifying myself as that name.
Right.
And saying that's my name. So first of all, I claimed that it was my name. I made a claim. And second of all, I identified myself as that name. Mm-hmm. Now, that's different than the recorded given name. So there's the recorded name and there's the registered name, both on that certificate. I've looked at it, I've studied it intently.
Like idem sonums, huh?
Hello.
Hello?
Hello.
Does it really matter?
Well,
not really.
It's a big wake-up call to me that I've been doing something that I didn't realize what I was doing.
Yeah, the thing of it is, it doesn't matter. It's what you're called, too. The name you answer to, it's not a name, it's what you're called. All it is a sound.
Right.
Exactly, yeah.
Exactly.
As far as the name goes, well, look it up. What they think it means, well, you can go along with that. The point of it is, when did I ever claim to own it? And I look at the birth certificate as a gift certificate.
Right.
And I think the birth certificate is irrelevant. If you go in there and say there's people known not to have a birth certificate, but if they go in there and stay in honor, they're going to they'll treat you the same whether you got a birth certificate to use or not.
Well, the next time I'm confronted by the police or anybody else, I'm tempted to just, I don't know what else to say because I'm at that point where I know too much and I can't go back. I already know too much.
Give them what they need to help settle the matter.
Well, I'm tempted to just refer to it as Connie B. McCormick's name, not my name. She's the one that registered that name for commercial use, and what they want to do is attach a commercial liability to that name. It's Connie B. McCormick's name.
So why are you still accusing people?
Well, because I never went down there and registered a name for commercial use. Connie B. McCormick registered that name.
Who said you did? Who said you did? Who ever said it was for commercial use?
Well, if I receive anything that has a number payable in obligations of the United States or FRNs, and it has that name on it, that's a commercial transaction. That's Connie B. McCormick's name, not my name.
Well, so what's the problem? It's all paid for. As long as, unless you go in there and claim an ownership, they can zero the account. All it comes down to is when one claims ownership, the books are out of whack. And now we got to figure out, are you God? You're claiming ownership, you must be God. Well,
right.
If not, pay the tax.
If not, you're kicking him in the dick at the least.
yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Who can claim ownership besides God? Who can do that?
Really? And
who can do that?
As far as it's my inheritance, well, I ask people, do you know if God's dead yet or not?
I heard that phone call a couple of months ago, and that was pretty funny because you can't accept an inheritance unless.
Well, it's not an inheritance until after the old man kicks off.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
So these people are pissing and moaning. I got a right to my inheritance, and the body's not even cold yet. Come on, people.
Exactly.
Think about it. And as far as, like I say, the birth certificate, knowing all that stuff and what they do is all well and good. I've been through all that stuff.
Yeah.
But it's so simple. It's there to use. And I'm telling you.
What I'd like to do is use their weight against them. In other words, if anyone leans on me.
See, there you go.
Well, I'm going to receive here now I'm predicting this because it's been going on for 20 years, but I'm predicting that in November I'm going to get an assessed property tax bill from the Kenneth Hall of Administration here in Los Angeles that says this address owes this much money because it's registered in this name. Now, when someone hands me this kind of paperwork and says you owe this debt obligation, and I'm assuming that they're pointing at me, and now I know that they're not pointing at me. No, they're pointing at that name. The question is, what's the easiest way to say you're not billing me, you're billing yourself?
Well, ask them the question. Never mind billing yourself. The point of the matter is who owns everything. See?
Well,
It's part of the creation. I'd be asking them the question.
In the California Constitution, none of it applies to me, but I've read it. And in Article 13, it says property owned by the state is exempt from taxation.
Well, there
so
you
now
go.
who owns the property here?
Well, unless when they put a claim on the name, we'll say fine. You put a claim on the name, pay the tax. What's the problem?
What?
So the question is, what's the easiest way to do this?
I don't think there's an easy way.
How can it be any simpler? Who bought the claim on the name? They sent you a bill. I believe there's a mistake here. Who wrote this bill? Well, good. You pay it. What's the problem? You want? Where's it? You going to hear me argue on it?
Exactly.
Same way, all it really comes down to is who laid claim on the name first. Why argue with them?
Well, if you don't make a claim, which is my prerogative, it's my prerogative to either make a claim or not make a claim. If I refuse to make a claim, there is no controversy.
Well, never mind refuse to make a claim. What are you refusing? The point of the matter, I started using this place a while back. Where's the controversy now? Where was you when I started using it? I mean, you need a place to stay. There's plenty of room here. Hey, they're just there to see if you're going to argue with them.
Right. It's going to boil down to that's what they do. They hand you here. Please take this sword. Please take these boxing. These are yours. Please make a claim so that we can now duke it out. They
just want to see if you know what you're doing. My opinion, you're assuming too much. These people, I found when you treat them nice and honor, they're not trying to do anything to you. They're just going through pushing paper, man.
I'm thinking back to my experience with the IRS agent down here in downtown Long Beach, and I went in there and I talked to her through the glass, and she was just shoving that paper under it. She said, no, this is yours, and you're trying to get out of your tax obligation, and this is, and you're the.
Well, what did you do?
I tried to say, well, I'm presenting evidence to the contrary, and I never identified myself as that name right there.
See, right there, you're lying to her, man.
Right.
You're lying. The thing of it is,
only a criminal denies.
Right. The thing of it is, who's sending this bill out? I believe there's a mistake.
Yeah, I can tell you.
Now, the one sending the bill is making the first claim.
Yeah, why argue with them? I believe there's a mistake. What evidence do you have that I ever claimed ownership of anything? The one who claims ownership gets the spoils. You ever hear that? The one who wins the war gets the spoils. In other words, they get the tax. They get to rebuild the country they beat. Why argue with them? I'm an occupant. I mean, not an occupant. Excuse me. I'm an inhabitant. Huh? I'm an inhabitant here, as far as I can tell. You got any evidence to the contrary?
Well, I would identify myself to any cop that pulled me over as a living man created by God, as written in Genesis 1:26.
Why even identify yourself? I'm called. What are you identifying with?
Well, it's something in writing that anyone affiliated with the government must respect because of those public laws, Education Day USA and Year of the Bible. The Congress of the United States recognizes those public laws. So a police officer working for a subdivision does recognize the Holy Bible. I'm just saying it's in writing.
Hey, so what? That's old news to me, man. You're preaching to the choir here. You need to clean
I'm real, huh?
You need to clean out that closet, if you want my opinion. Get over all that bullshit. It'll get you confused, and then you'll wind up with your ass in jail. Keep it simple, man. You're trying to show these people how much you know. They can give a shit how much you know. They just want to know one thing. Are you creating a controversy, or are you trying to help? That's all they want to know.
Yeah, and that's the road to go down, is always be the one that I'm here to help you. What can I do for you? How can we resolve this? There appears to be a misunderstanding. How can I resolve this? And one thing I'm thinking about, because I got pulled over twice in the last couple of years, and the cops pulled me out of the car. Well, one time they pulled me out of the car. The other time, the cop says, he says, "Sir, I need you to step out of the vehicle." And as soon as
who you calling sir?
Exactly. Why are you exactly? Okay, but I didn't know then what I know now. As soon as I put my hand on the door and pushed it open and started to step outside, the two cops grabbed me, pulled me up, my hands up behind me, searched me, and he said right in my ear, he just gave it away. He goes, "You just gave us permission. You just gave us consent."
Yeah, you should have asked him. See, if a cop tells me to get out of the car, I says, "Would it make you happy if I get out of the car?" And I'll get out of the car. Anything else I can do for you?
Right.
You know?
And that's
it will help you settle the matter.
Well, that's my point is if a cop or a judge or anyone is giving you an order, there's something inside me that just balks at that. I don't want to play the master-slave relationship. What
Sometimes
I'd rather
you gotta.
well,
you gotta play a part sometimes just to keep up appearances.
If you want to be the master, you got to remember to be as king. You got to ask the questions.
And the thing is, if you're helping them, in other words, if someone says, go pick that up and put it over there, if you just stand up and go pick it up and put it over there, you're being subservient to him. However, if you ignore what he said, if the cop says, "Sir, I need you to step out of this car," if you just completely ignore that instruction and say, "You know what? I think I'd like to step out of here and talk to you because maybe if we talk face to face, I could help with this misunderstanding. There seems to be a little misunderstanding. Would it help if I?"
And you're talking too much. You're trying too hard. Just look at the way Christ did it in the Bible, allegedly, the New Testament. When he was before Pontius Pilate says, "Are you the name? Are you the King of the Jews?" And he says, "You say that I am." You know, what evidence do you have of that? How can I help you? You know. And everything went smooth. But when he went silent, he got crucified.
Yeah,
See?
I got crucified the second time. They just jerked me out of the car. Well, he just pulled me out and they threw me on the. They put my hands up behind, handcuffed me.
Yay! Pulls you over.
But
Where's the emergency, officer?
No,
how can I help you? You know?
Yeah, I didn't respond accurately at all. I didn't know what I was like Rain Man. You know.
Yeah, it happens.
I like Batman's comment. Would it make you happy if I did that? I think that's a great response.
Well, I'd like
how
to.
Can I help you?
I just don't want to be subservient. I don't want to play the subservient role.
What do you mean subservient? We're subservient to one another, man.
Yeah.
Get over that bullshit, will you? Jeez.
Well,
we're here to
no
help
shame
one
in
another. We're servants to one another, and you get what you put out.
yeah.
You want to be served, you be a servant.
Sometimes you need to humble yourself.
Right.
Sometimes it's best to be humble
all the time. Yeah, be humble.
Yeah, right. Oh, yeah, none of this can be, you can't, nothing can be done with an arrogant attitude. Never, ever. Right.
Especially when the guy's got a club and a gun.
Oh, absolutely. Right.
Yeah.
Right. Well, that's I guess that's what I've been kind of mulling over is what is the easiest, smoothest way to interact with everybody, you know.
Love them. How can I help you? Be the servant. That's what's abased shall be exalted, and that's what's exalted shall be abased. You want to be on top? Stay on the bottom. They'll lift you up. They'll do it. You watch. But you want to go and think you're above everybody. Well, I hope you enjoy the ride down.
Yeah, ask questions. And ask the questions because, you know, like I'm trying to handle an IRS issue as well. And it didn't go so bad, you know, giving them the birth certificate there to bill. And the guy I needed to talk to wasn't there, so I wrote him out a little notice. You know, I believe there's a mistake and all that, you know, the whole spiel.
But you went down to the office or you wrote?
Oh, yeah, sure. And what's it called? The guy sent back the birth certificate, payment coupon, and the notice. And I had asked, you know, basically brought up the usufruct, you know, believing that the state is responsible for obligations incurred on the contract. Do you have any evidence to the contrary? To which he responded with a big fat yes, written at the bottom of the notice.
Of course we have evidence to the contrary. Look at this
code. So I'm going to have to go ask questions now, you know,
well,
that's all.
Could I see that evidence?
Yeah, I'd like to. Please, if I'm having some wrong-headed opinions here, would you help disabuse me of them, you know?
Well, my experience has been that they're going to show you a code, but in doing so, they want to be able to identify you as a taxpayer or citizen.
Well, that you're assuming that.
Yeah, I didn't really even have to get into the name game with those guys so far. You know, I didn't get that vibe.
I found it's hit and miss. It depends on who you talk to.
I told them I'm here for that matter. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, I went through the name game. I've called them a dozen times, and I've some of them don't even. Some of them just it's not an issue. And boy, this one girl, you know, I always get past it somehow. I always get past it, but this one girl just would not let it go. And I finally, we finally had a little 5, 7, 8, 9 minute banter back and forth, and I just said, can you? And she just, I just had to, we just had to end the call because.
Yeah, call back. Get a different agent. I didn't like what the one agent told me. I called back. They told me you got to file an appeal if you believe there's a mistake, and I'm like, nah, I think that's meddling. So I called again. And then I got the name and office of the guy I allegedly needed to speak to.
Yeah, it's you got to show them what you are. Telling them ain't going to do you any good, in my opinion. Every man's a liar. You got to show them. You got to act it. You got to ask the questions. And do all you can. What do you need? You need all the records? Fine, you can have the records. You can have anything you want.
That every man's a liar. That I've been thinking about that a lot. The fact that the first thing when you run, that the cops run after you. It's like an instinct. If you weren't guilty, why would you run? Why would you? Or if someone's walking out of a house with a television set, and you say, "Did you steal that?" It's going to be deny, 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 deny. Yeah. Well, if you're denying that you're stealing the TV set, what we want to know is what are you doing? And if you keep deny, the assumption is that you're stealing the TV set and you're lying about it because we don't see what you are doing. You're telling us what you're not doing.
Yeah, the thing was, if I was walking out of somebody's house with a TV set, I'd say, hey.
Give me a hand.
Well, yeah. Nobody was using it, so I figured I'd take it and use it. You got to have objections.
Along those lines, I read an interesting story in the paper down in New York there. Some guy stole a car, allegedly. Cops chased him a little bit, and when they finally caught up with him, supposedly he says, go F yourself. You can't do anything but charge me with unauthorized use. And in the list of charges they had was basically just the unauthorized use. There was nothing about theft.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
It struck me.
Funny. They'll say to you, why you steal that car? And that they'll usually say, I don't know. Well, they just admitted to stealing it.
Right,
you
just admitted it, yeah.
But they go to me, why did you steal that car? Steal the car? What evidence do you have I stole anything? Is it a crime to use it?
Exactly.
Does anybody really own anything? Was there anybody in the car when I decided to use it? Well, where's the crime? Far as I know, it was abandoned. You have any evidence to the contrary? Think about it, boys and girls.
I have, and the truth is, it's exactly 100% true. Now, but if in actuality, if you walked away with someone's bicycle or skateboard or
if you were being in honor with your brothers and sisters,
well, that's the thing is
if
you're in honor, it wouldn't be an issue, and that's the whole thing is you wouldn't walk away with something that you knew somebody was using or used periodically. You wouldn't do that if you were in honor. In other words.
Well, here's the deal too. Why take somebody else's stuff when there's warehouses full of brand new stuff that no one's using? And if you show these people you're in honor, I believe you'll get the key to the world. You'll be able to take anything you need or you want to use even. The thing of it is, we got to stop being greedy. They got people, they're so greedy. They took my money. What evidence do you have that you own anything? I asked them that. Well, I worked hard for that and this and that. You worked hard for what? And the junk man gets fucking $5 an hour, and you get $100 an hour. What makes your time any more worth any more than his?
Well, Exactly. Exactly. We talk about that all the time. How come the gardener doesn't make as much as these CEOs that make $200 million a year, and this gardener's making $30 a week or something?
You know
He's working
why?
harder than this guy.
You know why? It's because the way the people think. They think they own something, and that's why they get put where they get put. If you find if you own nothing, and you're around people that own nothing, everybody's on the same level. They're just using stuff. But when you think you own something, people think they're better than people. Why do you think they hoard money? And really, hoarding money, it's got to be the stupidest thing anyone can do.
Well,
keeping up with the Joneses, huh?
Yeah.
I'm going to step out on a limb. I'm going to give an opinion here, but when you go in a grocery store, people are trading money back and forth as in a corporate capacity because human beings don't need money. What I need is food, clothing, shelter, medicine, and housing. So people are acting in a corporate capacity when they're passing money back and forth for the stuff at the store. Now, people are free to do that, but if I want to walk in there and say, I'd like some of this, 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 and this, and I put it in a bag and walk out, what is stopping? Why is it that that's viewed as, in other words,
wait a minute.
Why isn't this process more widespread? Why aren't there more people doing this?
Because people are greedy. The thing of it is, if there's a lot of people that got welfare cards. That works just fine for some. Yeah. But the thing of it is, if you go to the manager of the store and you got a bag of groceries and say, hey, you own this stuff? He'll say, no. Who owns it? Well, Walmart. Oh, Walmart. Well, where's Mr. Walmart? Well, you don't own it, right? No. Well, okay. Finders keepers, and you have a nice day and walk out of the store with it. You gave him notice.
I assume that everybody's familiar with what Big Beck did, right?
Yeah, but he didn't as far as I know, he didn't keep the groceries. He screwed it up. You ask me. He should have got the groceries.
He waited. Well, the reason he waited for the cops was because he wanted to actually he wanted to take it to the people, the court administrator, and say, I want to talk. He said, I want to talk about this with them.
Yeah,
he said, I don't. That's why he did it. But the thing is, he can't.
The way he did it is probably where the problem came up. See, because if he gave the clerk notice, I think it would have been different. Because he gave the clerk notice, and then when the cops came up, they say, I told the guy, I asked him who owned it. It was just sitting there on the shelf, so.
Oh, how'd he go about it? Did he just walk out with the stuff?
I think so.
He told he told the clerk that he was going to, he said that the clerk thought he was joking. He had to tell her about 3 or 4 times, and she thought he was joking. And
but
then
did he mention, though, who owns this? Anybody got a claim on this?
I don't recall.
I saw the video, and I believe he did. And then he walked outside, and they sat outside on some pallets outside the door. And then the constables came, and they talked about it, and they brought him to the unit. And eventually they released them, where they all actually had to put them out of the jail.
Yeah, but the point is, though, you made it a point to them that, hey, nobody there at the store claimed ownership of it. So, as far as I'm concerned, it was abandoned. Is it a crime if somebody takes abandoned property? See?
Well, I
heard Boris mention that on one time a while back on one of the programs where he was talking about walking into a supermarket and grabbing a melon or watermelon and asking if anybody had a claim. Just raise it up right there in front of everybody and be loud and say, does anybody claim this melon?
Right.
Boris did it?
No, he said he had mentioned that in talking on one of the programs. Whether he did it or not, I don't really know. But he was just expounding on, during the conversation that he was, I forget how long ago that was, but and that's pretty much the same thing what I thought the guy in Canada did. You have to announce. You have to announce to everybody who is around you what you're doing. That way, if anybody's going to make a challenge or a counterclaim, they have to make it right there on the spot, and then you have witnesses.
All right. Could I ask something though? Could that be injuring the public, and could there be a better way to?
Oh yeah, possible.
Yeah.
Sure.
What is the public, though? That term confuses me.
The illusion.
Go ahead.
Yeah. We've talked about this, too, and I mentioned I think there's a better way to do it. I'd be trying to get in contact with the agent, which I have been neglecting to do, but I believe there is something out there called a black card or something. Like Horace pointed out one time, black. It's an interesting color. It absorbs everything. Why did the judges wear black? Because it absorbs everything. Right. Unless there's a fight, you fighting, the judge is really there just to help balance the books, to absorb it. And I believe there's a black card or something when you get it, and you'll be able to just go help yourself. So, you keep the balance because there's those who want to claim home right. Exactly. The thing of it is, you got to have patience, in my opinion, and you got to show them that that's who you are. You're either part of the so-called Illuminati, I'd say the illuminated ones, or you're part of you're the other side of the fence, claiming the ownership. Because I think if you do a little research, most of these people, they got everything they want, access to anything, you just using it. They're not claiming ownership.
Exactly. They have use of everything but own nothing.
Yeah. Teddy Kennedy, I heard say when they were having him in trials, I keep going back to it, but when his boy there, his nephew got arrested, one of the things on the news was they stated Teddy Kennedy didn't even own the shirt on his back.
Yeah, I think I actually heard that statement. Or I don't know. I've heard it so many times.
Yeah, allegedly Rockefeller or one of them, own nothing, control everything.
Right, and I've thought.
So it's been a long time. They've been telling us.
Yeah, that black card idea sounds logical because the thing is, if there's only a system for individuals, in other words, an individual is an individual corporation, and you're using a corporate name, and you're passing money back and forth to exchange for bananas and strawberries, well, they're products and commodities at that point. But the thing is, that's all on the corporate side, and you're free to do that. But if real men and women are locked out of enjoying the fruits of this earth, you can't be locked out of enjoying the fruits of the earth because
who's locking us out, though? Could it be us locking us out?
Well, if I walk into a store and I say I'd like these, and they say, well, you need to pay money for those because we only deal corporate to corporate with products and commodities.
Right, and that's what we just discussed, is finding the proper agent to establish that sort of ability.
Yeah, the thing of it is, I believe it's your choice, like on the cross there, one side or the other. You either accept the gift or you get the bill,
And I guess then the only way to go down the path of the living, breathing, flesh and blood man is to go through all of these.
Well, look at the way you've been acting all these years. You think you're going to believe you overnight?
No, I've been paying the bills for the last 30 years or something.
With debt instruments, is that payment or novation?
Well, yeah. Well, in other words,
novation.
What he was saying was, yes, I've had a habit. I've produced a what do you call it? When you do something over and over again. Yeah.
A pattern.
A pattern. Yes. I've created that pattern. Yes.
Or is it insanity?
Yes. That too.
Batman, can I ask you a question? I got a letter from the treasurer of the state of Louisiana. I wrote him, and about the thing with the name, and I sent him a bunch of information. I mean, some electric bills and all that stuff like that. And I got this letter back from him, but it wasn't from him. It was from the director of the Unclaimed Property Department.
Yeah.
And it says the information you recently mailed to the treasurer has been referred to me for reply. I have reviewed all the information you provided. However, I'm having difficulty determining exactly what you are asking. Please contact me at your earliest convenience using our nationwide toll-free telephone number. Yeah. In your opinion, is that a point of contact? Because shortly after that, I had a heart attack.
Oh.
My second one in 6 months. You got
to relax, brother.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I've been trying. I got wiped out during Hurricane Katrina, and I'm living in my FEMA trail, and FEMA's been trying to oust me out of the trailer for the last year, but I've been sending them notices and saying, I'd like to speak to Mr. FEMA.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and all the agents, and they all come out and they all tell me, well, you're a very interesting man. We've never met nobody like you. I said, well,
Yeah.
Well, good. They're honoring you.
It sounds like you got an.
Yeah.
Sounds like you got an open invitation though from that.
Yeah, I talked with them. It's
Okay.
What do I own? What's the name for? Is it a gift certificate? Is it a birth certificate for indemnification or identification? Now,
I asked that in the first letter, and they wrote back then and said they didn't understand what I was saying. And I took the same letter, copied it, and wrote on the back of it, and, further explained who owns it. And I gave them Barron's Dictionary definition of a certificate.
I wouldn't have gave them anything. I would have said, hey, you guys got a dictionary? If you do, please look it up and get back to me.
Okay. Leave it to them to answer it and hang themselves.
And not hang themselves. They're there to zero the books. They're looking for people that are claiming owners. All it is get over this us versus them business. In my opinion, all it is they're trying to keep the books balanced. And they deal with so many assholes claiming ownership every day. Can you blame them for asking all these questions?
No, not really. No,
So give them a question that'll help lead them to the answers.
Okay.
That's the way I look at it. And if you got anything, I wish, we could settle this matter honorably. Is there a way? I wish you could zero this account and help me so I can get what I need.
Right, yeah.
Or so I can, get what I need to use. Like the air you breathe. It's there.
Yeah, because that's what I'm trying to do right now, because after the heart attack, I came up to Indiana with my sister, and then I'm thinking about staying up here because down where I'm at in Bay St. Louis, they had the oil spill down there. Yeah. And just recently in the little town next to it, Waveland, they walked because the charter in the city hasn't been renewed since 1888. They let go of the police chief, and there's all kind of how you want to say, with all that money that went down there through FEMA, all the sharks and the con men went down there, and they divvied up all the money, like the hyenas, and leaving the people down there, kind of with the bill, so to speak, and no direction. So I'm thinking about staying here in Indiana, but I want to try to see if I could get the FEMA guy to get me a place up here to say, because I'm disabled as well as having, the heart attack.
How did you do you eat good and eat healthy diet and all that? Or
well, I fell off an airplane when I was in the Marine Corps. I did a 9.75 swan dive off the wing.
Off the wing of an airplane?
Right, yeah. I was an aircraft electrician.
Yeah.
And I slipped off the wing. I was out working on it. I slipped off the wing, and I fell perpendicular to the tarmac. And I got 5 herniated discs, and I think I developed a, a blockage in my abdominal aorta.
How many years ago was that?
Oh, that was 1981.
Oh, so about.
Yeah, but what you eating, and are you... Have you had a stressful life?
Well, it's one of these things. I was, in the Marines. I also did a stint in the Air Force, and I was a firefighter. But I always exercised. I mean, I rode my bike all the time, and I just think, my body didn't start falling apart till after I got out the military. That was the last thing, when and that was during the time when they were preparing for this war. Because we used to train out in the desert, and all the different inoculations and vaccinations.
Yeah, I went. I was 3 years in the Army myself, and I got shots. I mean, just one after the other I mean, constantly, and I'm surprised. I'm still walking, but that's what I'm wondering is what causes these health problems. Nobody ever.
Can I recommend an interesting video? The subject of health and what affects health, and there's this guy, Dr. Bruce Lipton. I can't bring up chat, otherwise I get this feedback. Dr. Bruce Lipton's got a real interesting hour or two lecture about a lot of what they've discovered about how cellular biology functions, and it's real interesting, and the mind has a lot to do with it. So if you're thinking
sure, 'cause my mind's been real active,
that something's wrong, something's going to be wrong, or whatever, you're going to put your body allegedly into a check it out if you get a chance. I found it really eye-opening.
I've heard of him. And, well, it's like telling water not to be wet. I've always been real high-strung, and it's in the family. What can I say? My dad had his heart attack at 55, and I had mine at 56. So it's
it comes down to, so the family did it. Thing of it is, why do you have to do it?
Yeah.
Well, no, exactly. I've tried to call, but genes, I think, do play a large part in it, and not in my control.
Well, they're finding out that's untrue.
Yeah, you may have the gene, but whether or not it gets expressed may largely have to do with you.
It's called disease, and if you're at disease, which I say 90% of people's problems, just an opinion, is right between the ears.
I agree with you. I agree with you on that.
Go ahead.
Yep. And if you start to realize how beautiful everything is, and it's all here for us to use, the more you'll find peace, I believe. And the more you find peace, the healthier you're going to start to be. And the diet, sure, you want to get the right minerals and vitamins and vegetables and whatnot. And
can't hurt.
Go easy on the meat, if you ask me.
Well, like you were mentioning Lipton, and I've listened to a lot of this, and it's all true. The thing is, you're going to do what you believe. What your belief system is going to guide what you do. And I found that educating myself and learning what's going on in the world, it actually calms me down. My friends and family for years have said, you know what, it's stressing you out so much, and you're so upset about all this stuff. Why don't you just drop it and leave it alone, and just kind of go with the flow? And I don't mind the stress. I don't mind rolling up my sleeves and digging in the mud and getting dirty.
It's part of the process.
Because I feel so much more at ease and so much happier and so much more contented by finding out what's going on in this world and then reevaluating and readjusting my belief system. And this coincides exactly what a lot of these guys I listen to, I'm a dummy, but I listen to, quantum mechanics and health and cellular and the whole, yes, I've listened to millions of hours of that stuff. And it boils down to a large percentage of it is your belief system. How can you, and that's why I'm saying, you had a heart attack, and it is due to some kind of stress on your body. And the key is how can you alleviate that stress? How can you, it's not a physical thing. It's you know what I mean? If you were drugged, heavily drugged, and just laid out on the floor, your body would go limp. I guarantee you would be relaxed. So it's not that your physical body can't do it. You can do it, but you need.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, I was just saying. It's nothing. It's not. I don't believe it's genetic or it's your physical traits or anything like that. Your mind.
Nothing exists outside of your thoughts.
Right.
Yeah. Maybe it's just what you signed up for.
I find a lot of. Well, to learn, I find a lot of people are, in my opinion, are miserable because they're always assuming what people are thinking instead of worrying about the way they're thinking.
That's true. Yeah.
You're worried about what people think of you. I've been at the point for quite a while. I could give a shit what people think of me.
Right.
And I'm at ease with it. I mean, who am I? Who am I to argue with somebody else's opinion?
Everybody wants to conform.
I just as soon as say, hey, you got a problem with me, let's talk about it. But a lot of times I can't even get that far. They block me from all these other calls for some reason.
Yeah. I get blocked all the time, you know. I just think because maybe sometimes the questions that, you know, when you bring up stuff, what it is when you start knocking out the bricks of their belief, of another person's belief system, and just ask simple questions, you can see where it goes in. It goes, does not compute.
Yeah.
Well, people they're clutching at straws, and they're saying, I got to hang on to what I have because if I let go, there's nothing else there. That's the way.
Yeah, you're free falling. Yeah, you're free fall after that, but you have to free fall.
Yeah, not everybody's ready for it, though. Not everyone likes to skydive, you know.
Right.
Exactly.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
That guy is talking. Is from California. He says his name McCormick. Is there any relation to Tim McCormick?
No, I was referring to the registrar recorder of the County of Los Angeles, and my birth certificate was made back in 1953, and that's.
Oh, I thought you said you were a McCormick.
No.
See, I got in trouble. I'm assuming and presuming again.
There you go.
It's like what Batman said. I run into that psychological brick wall to where I think, well, if I do this or say this, then I'm assuming that that they're going to say, and I keep doing that, and I have to let that go. Let it go. You don't know what anyone else is going to do until that moment happens.
Yeah, you don't know what they're thinking either unless you're a mind reader.
Exactly.
I mean,
exactly.
That's why I try to get over the assumptions, and the more I get over the assumptions, the easier the questions come to ask to try to figure out exactly where they want to go.
I'll agree with that.
Yeah. These are real bad habits that are hard to overcome.
Yeah, it's renewing of the mind, man. You got to come as a little child again. Like I was talking on the last call, one guy came on and started talking about, well, they never taught us this stuff and all that. I said, whoa, wait a minute. Stop and think back when you were like 3, 4, 5 years old, if you can remember. What's the little children doing? They're doing, Mommy, why's the sky blue? You know, Daddy, why not you got to get a driver's license? Blah, blah, blah. Asking questions.
And you're creating the path in front of you one step at a time, and it's very hard to do that. I mean, I don't know, it's not hard, but it's you really do literally create your own reality as you move forward, moment by moment. You're creating that, and like you say, it's not up to you to think you can read other people's minds or assume anything or make any prejudgments or anything. You have to, moment by moment. All I can account for is what I do, and then wait for the response. I have no idea what the response is going to be.
No, because I found you think the worst, but if you go in there in honor, man, I've seen it turn around like night and day.
Yeah, I have too. I've seen the cops reverse their the way they view me in a split second. It's like night and day, depending on how they view you and how you interact with them, and you create that reality as you go on. I had a cop. They had me in handcuffs on the curb, and this guy was in my face and pointing his finger at me, and he was saying, I've been on the police force for 20 years, and I've never heard anyone say anything like. I'm thinking to myself, really, has no one ever said the things that I'm saying? You know, I'm not going to call him a liar or anything, but I just thought it was interesting that just the interaction. I just glean everything from everyone all the time. I just thought a lot of these things were very interesting. I didn't know why he would say something like that.
Well, you know, to cooperate with the cops, it takes two parties. It can't be a one-way street.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the thing of it is, they're the old schoolmaster. They're there to see if you're grown up or not. That's all.
Yeah. And they'll clip your wings in a hurry if you have a copping attitude, and you know, rightfully so. Rightfully so. You know, I rail against these guys, but you know, at the same time, I have a lot of, you know, I mean, it's hard not to form an opinion of police officers. I was just looking at the Fraternal Order of Police. It's a lodge, and I don't know if you've seen that website. It's the I saw it on Fox News. They were giving a report on some guy that shot a guy in the back, and whatever. And then on Fox News, it had the police officer's name there, and underneath that, it said Fraternal Order of Police. And I thought, well, that's weird. So I looked it up, and sure enough, one of the lodges, the Freemason, is the Fraternal Order of the Police, and they have like 3,200,000 members or something, and it's a brotherhood. It's a brotherhood.
I heard from a guy that was down at one of these, G20 protests or something, and the big line of riot cops. He asked out loud, "So who here is a widow's son?" And most of them turn around. Look,
Is that something in Freemasonry?
Yeah.
That's the code. That's a question you ask to let them know that you, like, what was it, the shibboleth in the Bible when with the code word to pass through the line.
Oh.
From whence come you?
Think of it as the main code is love and honor towards everybody around you.
Yeah.
All the other stuff, to me, is just smoke and mirrors.
It is. That's the bottom line. You have to be cooperative, stay in honor, be helpful, and like you say, everything will kind of take care of itself as you move through life. Yeah. And it's why is that so hard to? Why is that so hard for? I've never done it. I'm in my late 50s, and I haven't done it all my life. What was so hard about that? Why?
We're busy thinking everyone else will be out to screw us if we start acting that way, and
programming.
Yeah.
Well, it's got to be in us to a point.
It's following the people around us. The majority of people think they own stuff, and they think everybody's out to screw them. And in general, most people are giving. But they claim ownership, and that's the hang-up.
That is a hang-up, and Jesus being out in the desert for 40 days and 40 nights, and the devil kept tempting him. You claim ownership. You can own this. I can give all this to you. You can have it. And I noticed in letters and TV ads and letters I get constantly, it's peppered with, this is yours. And you can have this. This is yours. And you can own this. Yeah. And this is yours. And here, we're giving this to you. And this is your bank account. This is your cash. And this is your car. And this is your... And they're constantly handing you this, please pick up, please take this sword. Please take these boxing gloves. Please make this claim so that we can start duking it out. And then we can clean the floor with you.
Well, it ain't duking it out. It's your ego, man. I think Satan, all it is or the devil, whatever you want to call him, is just the ego out of hand.
Well, the thing is, all my life, I took the bait. I said, yeah, it is my car. Yeah, it is. You can't take this. It's my money, and I don't want to pay. And I did duke it out with them, and they cleaned the floor with me. And it's such a simple thing to say, why in the world would I claim? Why has it never? It's never crossed my mind in all these years?
Well,
why has it never crossed my mind to drop it?
Yeah. It wasn't time yet.
Have you ever? It all comes in its time. But have you ever heard, why buy the cow when you get the milk for free?
Make it so, number one.
And I'll tell you something. I watched a lot of these old-time war movies and stuff. And every now and then there's a place about inhabitants and how the officers and stuff dealt with the inhabitants. The only ones they were worried about were the ones that claimed to be or own the country, to be a citizen of the country, to be at war with them.
To be combatants.
Yeah. Right. But if you said, hey, what evidence you have, I picked a side, they bend over backwards to help you.
Not my dog. Yeah.
Yeah. Why isn't this dinner conversation? Why didn't my parents talk about this around the dinner table? Why don't you hear people talking in the malls and walking and watching them? Why isn't this common everyday conversation? Why aren't you know what I mean? How can we get caught up in this? Well, this is mine and this is yours, and Johnny, this is yours, and you own this, and this is yours, Sally, and this is yours, and that. Why is it that's the only conversations that we have all of our lives that kind of stumbles us and dupes us and becomes why isn't this dinner conversation? What we're talking about?
I think we're going through phases. I don't know if it's got anything with the way the universe is rolling along right now, but I see a change coming on with people more and more realizing that the real honorable thing, getting over the materialism and getting back to the spiritualism. See?
Yeah.
It's, we're going, I think there's a shift coming where you're going to see more and more spiritualism, and people, when they start to realize, do I really need all this shit I got cluttered around me?
Maybe more humanity expressing itself.
I say more love for mankind. Humanity, man, human, the color of man. That's another one. Think about it.
Right, yeah, Hue. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. See? Whereas you're a man. I got a call today, a sales lady called females. He's got any females in the house? Well, I don't have any farm animals around here, I said. We were out around. I have fun with them when they call up. What are you calling me sir for? Did I call you any names?
Yeah, that's another thing, is that I think it's time for me personally to draw a hard line and say, if I give you permission to call me Bob, that's all I give you permission. None of this. Sir.
Get over that.
Well.
Listen to yourself.
Well, why would I want to be identified as anything other than what I gave you permission to identify me as?
Hey, they can call you anything they want. Does that mean you got to answer?
Right.
Who cares? I give you permission. I call you an asshole. You going to answer to it?
I'll tell you what my losing experience of that was when the cops had me handcuffed on. This is the second time, and I'm on the curb. I'm sitting on the curb, and they're going through my car, and they're reaching in there. There was four, right, exactly, yeah, my car, because that was my frame of mind back then too. And so four of them are there, and one's watching me, and the other three are rifling through the car and doing this and saying, "Hey, show us which key unlocks your trunk." And I said, "You don't have my permission to touch my property." I mean, that was my position back then. I said, "You don't have my permission." And one cop just looks at me. He looks at me, and he takes his finger, and he starts tapping it on the top of the car. And he goes, "It looks like we don't need your permission, do we?"
See how far that went, huh?
Yeah, didn't go too far.
You tell them you can have it, man. You need a car, I can walk, and they'll leave it alone. I'm telling you. I believe they will. In fact, I heard they have. I heard somebody tell me they did that. Go ahead. You need it. Take it. No, go ahead. Get out of here.
Yeah.
See?
Yeah, it's live and learn.
Learn. It's part of the process, man. It's all good.
It's in the moment, real time. You never know what you're going to get till you tap the melon.
Life is like a box of chalk. Yeah.
Well, I wish that this kind of conversation could happen. The old "don't talk about politics and religion," mantra. I really wish that my parents had talked about this stuff open. Now they were religious, and they were Southern Baptists, and they're to this day they're hardcore, born again, Bible thumping, conventional religion. But
I'd have fun with them.
But they didn't. But they didn't understand it enough to have.
What do you mean they didn't? A mind reader? Maybe they're pulling your leg. Who knows?
That's it. One time I heard my dad talk to my cousin one time, right before he died, and he looked at him. He says, "You can't bullshit a bullshitter."
Yeah.
And when I heard my dad say that to my cousin, I looked at him. I said, "You ain't never played that game with me. It was always, straight to the T, hard to the bone." Okay. And, I think it depends upon the relationship, especially in a family situation. Because some, just like in regular life, I mean, you get along better with some people than you do with your own kind. Yeah. And just because you come from them doesn't mean that they're your kind.
Well, you get to pick your friends.
I thought there was only one kind on this rock.
Well, you're right. There is, but there's different perspectives of it.
Yeah, true. See, you think go ahead.
No, that was it.
Yeah, I love these people, these Bible thumpers. Well, I've been known to thump the Bible too, I guess, in here. But I'd like to take these people that call them Christians and say, hey, what are you doing calling yourself a Christian? Could you please show me in the Bible where it says Jesus was a Christian?
Right.
I just think the majority of the people that walk around with Bibles really are, and I'm not saying this because I'm so smart. It's just I believe that we're all just clueless about the parables and the messages and I mean the Bible obviously was set up. It came from the Torah and the Talmud, and then it came in the Holy Bible. The book of Deuteronomy is the law. The book of Numbers is the census. The book
it's
of
all hearsay. It's all hearsay to me.
Well, but I think people walking around quoting the Bible are completely ignorant as to all the many layers of what's going on in the thing, and when like a newspaper and say, well, it says that right there, so that's what you got to do. It's
the accepted way of so-called organized societies.
Well, but most of these so-called Baptists, and not just to pick on the Baptists, Protestants, whatever, they all go by traditions of men, if you ask me.
Exactly. Yeah,
right.
That's what it is. It's all set up by, like George Carlin talked about it. He talked about one of the biggest BSs on the planet is the clergy.
Yeah. See, my boy, he was going to.
Yeah, they're always looking for new customers, you know.
Well, yeah, but my boy, he was going to church with his girlfriend there for a while, and he wears his hat in there.
Yeah.
And they had a problem with it. But he asked the preacher. He says, "Where's in the Bible it says you can't wear a hat in there?"
That's right. Yeah.
You know, and he just asked the guys questions and stuff. He stopped going and hanging around them anyway. But
right. Yeah. Well, that's the whole thing. When you ask questions, then you're just waiting for the answer, and then once again, that opens up an avenue for dialogue, but most people don't want to dialogue. They want to get in the fast food lane and go home and eat.
See, the funny part about where that hat comes in the scriptures was Paul was telling these guys, he was kind of scolding them for, what's the problem here? You're bitching and moaning because somebody's wearing a hat?
Right.
I mean, that's what it was about. Now, if the preacher knew his shit, he would, it wouldn't have been an issue. He could explain it to the parish there. Hey, Paul was saying, are you going to because somebody's wearing a hat, you got a newcomer here, you're going to be a dick about it and chase him away? You see?
Yeah.
Whereas instead of the preacher doing what the scripture, I believe, recommended, he asked, he's going, hey, you got to take the hat off,
He's acting like the shepherd, and he saw one of the sheep out of line and wanted to make them like the rest of the sheep,
Well, the point of it is, what he thinks is sheep.
Right,
To me, most of them are full of goats.
You better believe it. You better believe it. Yeah, the goat's on the left side, the sheep on the right, then you turn around the other way and you leave, and you switch sides.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, anyone that, prays to, if you're not in a constant connection with God, well, in other words, I mean, this is one of the things we talk about all the time. Is why would you want to? It'd be like me walking up to you face to face, and then turning away from you, and saying I'm now going to talk to you. I'm now going to speak to you. Why would I do that? If you're with God all the time, if you're in a constant state of whatever God is, I tend to lump quantum foam, nature, God. To me, it's all one thing.
Yeah,
it's
the whole
that
being.
which is.
Hey, we're all part of the creation, whether we like it or not. If there is a creation,
right? Like
Bingo.
it or lump it. Yeah, like it or lump it. You're. What are you going to divorce yourself from that which you are?
Well, people are trying to when they claim ownership. In my opinion, that's when they're causing a division in the body.
Causing a division, right? Key.
Yeah.
That's key right there.
Divide and conquer.
Why would you?
Yeah, but the ones causing the division are only conquering themselves. I look at it this way: 2/3 of the world are going to kill each other off because they're claiming ownership, and the 1/3 of the world, and the 1/3 of the world are those ones that are living at peace, just using the stuff.
Yeah, when you brought that comment up, that was really a great comment. It made me start thinking. I said, well, gee, because you know people on both sides of the issue, and you just have to step back and let them at it.
Like, you can only ask them some questions, plant some seeds, and
Right.
And you'll find a lot of people don't want to hear it. So it's old saying in the book there says, knock the dust off your shoes and take it down the road, man.
Yeah.
He who hath an ear, let him hear. So.
Yeah, I've struggled with the English language a lot in going through all these different dictionaries and everything, and I found that part of the problem of why I'm going to refer to it as thinking inside the box or living inside the box. We have a prefab, we have the United States. It's all fictional, It's like if you look at Google Earth, right, and you see the physical geographical physical Earth, right, and then you click a button and you see the overlay of China and Japan and Spain, right? Those are all artificial. So through the English language, we've used this terminology in which we only think inside the box. In other words, we only think within the limits and boundaries of boundaries and borders and companies and corporations in California, United States, and on and on and on.
Hey! What's this we shit?
We, right. Yeah, me.
And besides that, look at all the dictionaries. Aren't those words somebody's opinion, like Webster's dictionary?
That's another thing.
Dictionary?
Who gives anybody the right to say my determination of what this means is the right?
Well,
I don't care which dictionary it's in. What gives anyone the right to say no? My definition. And
people
that's
agree into it.
Will you calm down, for crying out loud, man?
Yeah, you're going to give me another heart attack.
The point I'm trying to get to here is, until you talk with somebody on the definition of the word, where's the meaning of the minds? You can write your own dictionary and put the words any way you want them and go by them and live by them. Call a popsicle a TV dinner.
That's
and
right.
That's the way, it's your business. The thing of it is, if they don't understand what you're doing, well, now it's time maybe to have a conversation. Well, you want a popsicle and you're handing them a TV dinner, but that's what you call it.
Well, that's where the meeting of the minds comes in. There has to be an understanding. When I say something, do we agree on what this means?
Exactly, and the point of the matter is, see, you're assuming everybody's going by the same definitions. Think about it.
Yeah.
Why assume that? I get down, what's the word you? The judge says, do you understand? Well, what do you mean by you?
What do you mean by that? Yeah, exactly.
Like Bill Clinton did, man. He told us it was all over the national news. He got allegedly out of something, which I believe he didn't get out of anything. He was nothing to get out of. But one simple question. Could you please tell me your definition of is?
Yeah. When he said I did not have sex with that woman, he didn't lie in the least.
Right, that woman. What woman? Huh?
Any woman in the room he could have been talking about.
Yeah.
I think that was known as a volley. He knocked back a volley.
Hey, I admire him now that I get what he did.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, you want to take me to court? Go have at it, boys. He knows he's a Rhodes Scholar, man. He knows he's with the high up of the ups there, the ones that are aware of the illusion and saying, look at all these people. I wish they'd grow the fuck up. Well, that's what they really want. They want everybody to grow up so they don't got to babysit them, keep us from killing each other.
The English language is really completely free form then, really.
All it is we got sounds. We could go ooh and ah and eek and say all kinds of that. But the thing of it is, if we understand what we're talking about through that sound, well then there's a meeting of the minds. But other than that, till you have that meeting of the minds, you're running on assumptions.
Yeah.
Like one part of the country they call it soda, another part of the country they call it pop.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
So I remember when I first started traveling as a youngster, around 16, 17, going cross country and stuff. Wow, you want a pop? And I'm looking at him like, what are you talking about? Where I came from, we call it soda. And then once I caught on, yeah, sure,
Yeah, when I first came.
I thought they was going to hit me. You want a pop?
Yeah. Yeah, when I first came to this neck of the woods, they called what I called a hero sandwich or a sub, they called a hoagie.
Yeah. There you go, another one.
Yeah, but like I say, as long as you understand what because you can have a conversation with somebody for an
we
hour.
had to have a conversation.
And then walk away from it, and we talked about this guy and how this and this and this and this and this, and you walk away, and your friend goes and he shoots him, and you go, what the hell did you do that for? He goes, well, I thought that's what you were talking about. You can have a whole conversation with somebody and not even connect one iota. I mean,
oh yeah,
the English language.
If you ask me, it's called speaking in tongues.
Bingo.
I had it's like the lowerlings. I talked with a judge one time, and it was when I was helping my boy get off of. They had him on probation, and he never did say it. And he only went, I think, 2-3 times. I went down with him, and finally we got it back before the judge. But you had to be there. The so-called probation officer was freaking out, man. But the judge says, well, I see merit in this. And once he said that, it was out of her hands. But she kept yapping. Well, let a boy grow up like that and da-da-da, and running her mouth, But you don't want to beat the dog. We just ignored her, and the judge and I, and just kept talking like she wasn't even there.
Yeah.
And he took care of it.
That's what the dog whisperer says. Ignore them.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Yeah.
But, they're public servants, and they're trained to do a certain thing, and the judge didn't want to reprimand her. You don't want to beat the dog. You beat a dog, the police dogs and stuff, they'll be shy to do their job. You don't want to get them shy once you got them trained. That makes sense,
Yeah.
Yeah. You have to be always in the role of extending whatever help and service you can give to somebody. Always be in that mode. If you're always in that mode, how can anyone possibly? How can you know what I mean? If in a perfect world,
Anything's
never mind
possible. Is it probable?
But if
you get what you put out, I'd say, in the long run.
Right.
Probably,
some days it might not feel that way, but I believe in the long run it's.
Well, you get what you put out, exactly. And in other words, do unto others. In other words, in Romans 13 is the whole thing about obey the government, pay the taxes, and everything. But in the end, it says, but the fulfillment of the law is love one another and do unto others as you would have them do unto you. So that's the fulfillment of the law. That's how you actually do it.
Right, and if you do that, there is no law. All them statutes and stuff do not apply to you. See?
You don't need them.
It would only apply to those who are not expressing love.
Those who are claiming ownership.
Right. So I don't know. It just hit me the other day. The fulfillment of, because we're talking. Because I go through law. Columns. Statutes. I've read all this stuff over the last 6 years till my eyes are blurry. But the fulfillment of the law, and this is where it all climaxes. And this is what you've been talking about I've been listening to these talks for months and months and months. And why didn't it ever dawn on me? The only way, it's the same thing as two kids in a schoolyard fighting over a ball. It's all claim of ownership and controversy. When the school teacher comes out on the playground and says, "Why are you guys fighting?" It's always because both of them said it's my ball, and she has to now mediate that. It's the same thing in the courts. You have adult children in there saying it's mine, no, it's mine, and then the judge has to mediate between the two children.
You can't settle your own differences. Now you play by these here rules.
Yeah. You go in there saying it's mine right there. You gave the court jurisdiction. You brought a claim before the court. That's all it is.
It's so simple. It's elementary. Like you say, I've heard you say this 100 times. A 5-year-old could do this. Why? That's what I'm saying. Why?
In fact, in my opinion, a 5-year-old has a better chance of doing it than the majority of people I talk to.
He's not going to botch it all up with all these other theories and
all that ego.
Why, Judge? What do you mean own anything? My daddy says I don't own anything. I just choose it here.
That court session would be over in 5 seconds. The judge would throw his hands up in the air and go, I got nothing to say.
No, he gives the bill to the prosecutor.
Yeah.
You claimed the name. Here's the bill.
I like when Nightwing says it all boils down to a fart joke. Whoever smelt it, dealt it.
Yeah. All right.
It's very simple. Good Lord.
You smell a claim, you must have brought it.
Yeah. You know, this is so revolutionary to me. It's so earth-shaking. You know, once I turned that corner, I was listening to these talks, you know, and I listened to them over and over again. And I'm like, how can it's like I never turned that corner my entire life. I never turned that corner and said, that's what I'm doing wrong.
Well,
Why
you
is
turn
it
it
so simple?
you turn it somewhere going down that path, because I'm telling you, I believe we're all born with it. It's our nature right from the womb.
Well, we fell for the seduction.
Yeah, we turn from it because the children, you know, allegedly children, what do they know about ownership? You know, until we say, oh, that's yours. The parents are saying, that's yours. Now they're going around, well, that's mine because Daddy said so.
Right.
You know, whereas, hey, you can use it. You know, that's how we're doing it. It's using this stuff. You know,
a learned behavior, possibly.
Yeah. Yeah, well, we follow those around us without asking questions. We get to a point, like I asked, you know, most boys at the house are called the master. And I want to know where I got demoted to sir.
That's a great one. Yeah, that's a great one.
Yeah.
That was a different area in time where the language, you know, there was a different understanding of language.
Yeah, well, like that's why I like that Batman Begins movie. It had it right in there. He called him Master Bruce.
Right.
And Master Bruce was always asking questions.
Yeah.
Why do we fall, Alfred? You know?
Yeah, there's a lot of information in a lot of movies if you go back and look at them now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
With this different. Once I looked through a glass darkly colored, you know.
That's you said something right there, because I'm looking at everything with new eyes, and oh my God, there is so much information in all these movies. I used to think, oh, they're hiding it from us, they're propagandizing us. I went through that whole angry stage. Now I look at them and I'm like, it's like, why didn't I ever see this before? You know, it's like learning a magician's trick, or finally figuring out a puzzle, or seeing the 3D object or something. And now you look at it and go, how is it I never saw that before? It's right in your face.
Personally, I believe there is some predictive programming going on, but for those with eyes to see, there's what we're talking about, the messages in them, and they are telling you.
Well, it's been in there. I know I went back and looked at a lot of the old, Lone Ranger type stuff, and Dennis the Menace, and then, like you said, the newsreels from stuff like that. And then when you understand what propagate means nothing more than means to plant.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you know, it takes a little while to get it, but I'm sure just like anything else, what's that commercial? It's only wine when it's time.
Yeah.
You know, it's just maybe just, you know, like somebody was commenting, maybe this conversation this change is happening ahead of the curve, maybe, so to speak. Maybe it's happening in other sporadic places, and eventually we'll all join up.
I really sincerely hope that that's what's happening.
Well, I hear tell there's people all over the country all over the world, I should say. I talk to people all over the world, Australia, UK, so-called Australia, UK, Canada. I have to stop and think a few more places. And not so much lately, but it's out there. You know, that's why it says I didn't do the calls much, because really, what's there to talk about other than, you know, once you go to the basics.
Yeah, but it helps to renew the conversation and keep bringing it up. I mean, you know, I lived how many years of my life? In 1999 is when The Matrix came out. I went to see that movie with a bunch of people, and I was as blind as anybody else. I watched it and walked out of the theater just like everyone's going, wow, that's just a weird science fiction movie. I don't know what the hell it meant. How can we be so blind? You know, how can, you know, so it does help to talk about this stuff and repeat it, and even though it's repetitive, it should be dinner conversation. It should be what we talk to our friends at when we go out to a ball game or go barbecue or go to the beach. You know, this should be stuff that
you're not going to have a lot of friends.
That's true. That's true.
Well, not always. I mean, I gotta, that's how I know who my real friends are, man, because they put up with me. But a lot of other people, they don't want to hear it, And again, you don't push it.
Right. Right.
If you ever feel ready to talk about it or have some questions, I'll be glad to
Well,
talk.
what I'd like to do is help people improve their lives. If people are complaining about, well,
if they want any help.
Hey, you know how you do that? Like worrying about how you improve well, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
But, improve your own life. You be the change you want to see in the world. I think Johnny might have.
Yes, exactly.
Other than that, I mean, you're beating a dead horse because, you could go around and tell people all you want.
Yeah.
Now, showing them and asking them why they're doing things, that's a different story. Let them think about it.
Yeah.
If you want to get wet, you got to jump in the water.
Yeah. Just,
I've had to just back off. I've been doing
that. They don't want to hear it, man.
Yeah,
they don't want to hear it.
I've left off the last couple conversations with, just go ahead and chew on them last couple questions till I see you next time. If you want to talk about it, we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
Well, that's how everything starts. It starts out as one small idea, or like a pebble in the pond, and eventually the ripples, however slow, they make it to the edge, and then come back.
Yeah. That's all you can do is just put in your 2 cents and just let it go. I mean, I've been struggling with this, trying to push it, because I thought, no, I'm trying to help you. I'm going to do you a favor. I'm going to enlighten you. I'm going to help you out. Oh my God. I'll let you know from firsthand personal experience. Don't do it. It does not work.
Anyway, guys, have a good night. I've got an early morning. I'll catch you all next time. Great talking to you.
Yeah.
It's good talking to you.
No.
All right, night. And
no.
Yeah, I'm gonna call it up, wrap it up here shortly too. Well, unless you guys want to keep talking.
No, I'm good. I really enjoyed myself, especially now that I'm able to to make the call. And I kind of there's a lot of stuff in the previous calls that I've.
You got Skype?
No, I don't have my computer right now. I'm just calling in on the phone. I usually go to the public library, but they closed right now. So.
I can give you a number to call if you want to have a so-called private call with me.
That would be fine.
If you can catch me, my internet connection on the other computer is offline for the Batman, but I'm on a. But hold on a minute. Let me get the number. I don't remember it offhand.
Okay.
Here we go. Now, if I'm here, I'll answer. If not, I'm not.
Okay.
Let's see. Come on. Okay, number's 203.
Okay.
437.
Okay.
6019.
6019. All right, I appreciate that.
Yeah, and the Skype name is same as the talkshoe. I'm Batman57, and I also got an email address. I'm Batman57@yahoo.com. So.
Right. Yeah, I got that off of the talkshoe thing on the little right next to the symbol.
Yeah. So. Yeah, if you like, if I'm around, I try to answer. I'm here and there.
Yeah, I appreciate your efforts that you've put out. It's from personally, it's made a definite impact. So.
Yeah, I wanted to say the exact same thing.
Glad to hear it.
It's
glad to be of service. If you look up what a Batman is, a Batman's just a servant to the horse soldier. That's all.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Something like that, I believe.
Yeah.
Just keep doing what you're doing, though. It looked like there was about 15 to 20 people on the calls tonight. Nobody chimed in. Only a couple people chimed in, but it looked like there was a lot of people. But yeah, I just think it's invaluable to keep the conversation going. Even if it seems repetitive, it's just.
Well, I try to do it.
It's life-changing. It's literally life-changing, though. It changes lives just to realize these simple things.
That's what people have been telling me. So hopefully it's for the better for everyone.
Yeah.
Got my vote. Well, I'm going to bid you fellows a good evening, and look forward to speaking with you soon.
Okay. Me too. Thank you. I enjoyed talking to you. And
yes, sir. You too. Thank you.
Okay. All right.
Bye.
All right. Bye-bye.
My other computer here keeps dropping. You guys all go? All righty then. Oh, you still up? Hello?
All right, Batman. How's it going?
Hey, who do we got here? Hello?
It's Jimmy here.
Hey. Yeah, I tried to type in, but my computer where I got the chat board up keeps dropping off on me for some reason.
If you're having a few issues myself here.
But yeah, it's just about to call tonight, but you got something you want to talk about, I guess we can give it a shot.
Well, I think it's a little bit late. No, I think what I might do is I might let you go because you were tuning off there, and I can't hear myself through this, I don't know what way it's going here. So obviously you're hearing me okay anyway.
Yeah,
it took me ages.
Not too bad.
It took me ages to get this damn. Sorry.
You're breaking up a little bit there. Where are you at? You across the pond or something?
Yeah. Over here in Ireland, so I can't see it going anywhere special for a while.
Yeah, we got a little trouble here. You're breaking up on us.
Maybe too close to the mic. Maybe is that any better?
Yeah.
Better?
Not really. Talk a little bit.
Well, just back up in court again on the 16th, I think it is. Back up on the 16th, so we're hoping for another shot at the cherry.
Yeah, it's kind of rough understanding you. That's.
I'll tell you what. I'll check it out. You're still on Skype, are you?
I'm sorry, I can't understand you.
Yeah, I'll text you.
Shoot. I don't know what to do about that.
No. It's just a message. Catch on Skype.
Yeah. I could do that. But anyway, wish I could understand you better. But I think I'm gonna play one last song and call it a night, I guess. Unless somebody else we can understand wants to jump in there. Shoot, I guess that's about it there, Jimmy.
No worries, man. No, chill. I'll Skype you. I'll Skype you maybe tomorrow if you're online. We'll be around for a little. So.
Now you're not too bad.
Oh. Oh no.
Give it a shot. Let's see if we can understand it this time.
Yeah, okay, doke. How's that going for you now? Is that a little better?
Little bit, yeah.
Okay. No, I enjoyed our conversation there tonight. It was quite good.
Yeah.
But up for again on the 16th. We're going to be looking for pleadings, I think. Pleadings. What does the word pleadings mean to you?
Means to me, well, why would I be going in there to plead? Pleading means, you're looking for them to listen to a claim you got. You're pleading your case. You claim something, and you're going to tell them why you're claiming it. You see? Me, the way I look at it is, I believe somebody believes I claim something, and I want to clear that up. I want to find out who's got such a crazy idea.
Yeah, that sounds about right, because I don't recall claiming anything.
Yeah, somebody keeps giving me these things here, and I just want to make sure they get to whoever claims the name. Who brought the charges, Judge? For the state. Well, no argument here. What evidence do you have that I'm arguing with them, They want it. If they believe it's theirs, who am I to argue? Watch the look on the judge's face.
Yeah, it looks pretty good sometimes, He got a bit ruffled the last day, and there was a few times he looked a bit surprised, to say the least. I think he was just glad to get it over and done with, and set another date, I think.
Yeah, well, what's the problem here,
Yeah,
only
well,
trying to help. Go ahead.
Yeah. I went into the court office there, and I was looking for a prosecutor, and I was looking for the prosecutor for the case, and apparently the police officer is a prosecutor.
Oh, yeah. Well, he claimed the name, let him have it.
Yeah. So that is, it is possible. What I've been thinking is maybe it hasn't really gone to court yet. Because I think the last day was a court of summary jurisdiction.
Well, it's an evidentiary hearing. It's probably what you're going through. The thing of it is, I'd try to talk to whoever put the claim or the charge on the name, and I let them know,
Yeah.
What evidence do you have that I claim to own anything? What evidence do you have that it's my name? I've been known to use it. Allegedly, I've answered to it. That sounds, but the name? Are you talking about the sound or the name? There's a million ways you can go with it. What's the gut tell you? What's the, at the moment? How do you want to deal with it?
Well, I don't think any of these guys want to deal with it. I don't even think that the prosecutor, I don't even think the guard wants to deal with it, really, because he doesn't, I don't think he knows what to do with it either himself, really.
Somebody will jump in and cover it for him. Think of it as stay on point, and where's the controversy? Where's the controversy concerning you?
None that I can make out yet. Anyway, not so far. Anyway, hopefully I'll stay out of that, the controversy end of it. As I said, I nearly made a mistake. I nearly made a mistake in the first 5 minutes, I think. I nearly went into contempt. And,
well, contempt? Who went into contempt?
Yeah, well, obviously I didn't. I think he was just messing with me, actually, because I didn't understand court etiquette. I think he got a bit stroppy, and he...
Oh, a friend of yours.
Yeah. Sorry?
You're talking about a friend of yours that got contempt?
No. I'm just saying the judge was saying I was about to go into contempt.
Oh, why?
I think for not understanding court etiquette.
Well, what etiquette is there to understand if you're just going in there in love and honor, and asking the questions?
Yeah, I don't think I was acting lovingly and honorably though at the time, though. I think I got a bit carried away though. But I learned quick,
You want to see some of the rounds I've had with judges. It's a wonder I never got contempt. Well, I got contempt once. But the judge, well, it was strange. He died about 30 days later. He put me in jail.
You were talking about it, yeah.
He put me in
You
jail
were
for
listening
remaining.
to tell the story last night, actually, Batman. Yeah, but you were talking about this on your last talk show there. Last week we tuned in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Put me in jail for remaining silent after he told me to shut up.
Yeah, so, so going into silence is not such a good thing,
Well, I asked him the questions, and he told me to shut up or he's going to give me contempt. So I did what he asked. And the judges in that town, man, well, that part, they were all, boy, I had them going. It was fun. Now that I look at it. I didn't like jail too much, but you get used to it.
Yeah, well, I'm hoping to avoid that end of it now, but you see, maybe that's what saved me the last day. Like when he told me to keep quiet, I didn't actually. I kind of rebutted his shut up statement.
Well,
I don't know what I said anymore.
Did he call out what you said you answered to, or did he just say, you be quiet or I'll give you a contempt?
He said, one more word out of you. He was a funny guy,
did you assume he was talking to you?
Yeah, I think I may have. Yeah, I may have.
Yeah.
But no, it's all good. It's all good. The fact of the matter is, I was the only one to walk out of there without getting sent to jail that morning.
You must have did something right.
I still think that, yeah. I think because there was guys going in there, and they were all in for more or less kind of similar types of offences, or and he was sending them to jail left, right, and centre, and I was the only one that walked out of there that morning.
Hey, that's the way to do it. See, you don't got to get it perfect. You just got to get it, man. That's all.
Yeah, I was far from perfect, I'll tell you. Far from perfect.
It was perfect in your own way.
Yeah, well. It's still out here anyway. I just chat to the Batman anyway, so it can't be too bad.
It's all good.
But yeah, no, they were all good guys there on the day. Even the guards, what was it your man was called? He's not the sergeant, but he's the, what do they call him? Superintendent. Even the superintendent, God, he was a nice man. He jumped in and helped me out in the middle of it all.
There you go. Somebody's watching.
Yeah, oh for sure. He did not want me to get into trouble, and it was the same with the police station on the night, and the arresting guard, he was really, really put out by having to arrest me on the day, and he was upset, but at the end of the day, he was laughing and joking about the whole thing, and and when they were trying to book me in and all that, and I wasn't accepting any names or nothing, and he turned around to the girl that was doing the booking in, and he says, "Jeez, I have a funny feeling it's going to be the same story in front of the judge in the morning." He says,
Cool.
Yeah, they were funny guys, I have to say.
Yeah, you don't know it until you do it. A lot of people like to say, "Oh, bullshit, that won't work." And I ask, "Have you tried it?"
Yeah, this is it. I never thought about trying something like this years ago. But I have to say, it's where to go. Change your perspective on a few things.
Yeah.
How's it all with you, Batman?
Good. It's okay. I get to go. I'm going to a NASCAR race this weekend if all goes right. So,
oh wow.
Going to Bristol again. That'll be fun. Night race.
Bristol. That's
Bristol, Tennessee. They got a short track there for NASCAR. I don't know if you're familiar with NASCAR racing at all.
Well, a little bit, yeah, a little bit. Seen it on the PlayStation, I think.
I got somebody I got to answer on the chat board here. Batman, what do you think of Dean Clifford? I think he's at war, if you want an opinion. Hope that helps. And I think people following him are going to find their asses in jail.
Who's that guy? I think I heard his name somewhere.
I think he was on Angela's call last week or the week before. I listened to the recording as long as I could stand it. And
is he a bit of a patriot, is he?
I don't know what you want to call him, but he likes to. I think he's at war. Everybody's the bad guy but him. So.
A little bit like Alex Jones.
Yeah, there you go. Something like that.
Right, yeah. I find it hard to listen to him these days. Really, really hard.
Yeah.
He kind of everybody up shooting everyone.
Yeah. That's good talking.
How's Boris doing these days?
Boris, I don't know. I'm waiting to hear from him. I heard from him about a week or two ago, a couple weeks ago now, probably, or more. And supposed to be hearing from an agent. So I think he'll let me know what happens, one way or the other.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure you'll hear.
Should try to contact him and get him on the show. Maybe I'll try to get him on the show next week. If I'm going to try and do another show, I think. See where it goes. There was a few people on here.
Yeah, but appreciate the really advanced warning, Batman. Really appreciate it.
Yeah.
We've got a week.
I'll probably schedule another. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, we've been sort of like way out of the country these days, and we don't have internet, like so we're not always here.
Yeah.
Check emails and stuff. So it was nice to get the advance, but a week's notice, that's unusual.
Yeah, for me it is.
Yeah. You know, say what? Batman giving a week's notice, but he had.
Well, I blame it on other people, but I got sick of hearing all the bullshit out there, and I said, let me see what happens. I'll start doing it. I'm doing it right across another call that's real popular, so it's a wonder anybody's here, I guess. But
no, good turnout tonight.
I had a pretty good turnout. I think I'm going to do it next week. See what happens.
Yeah, quite a few guests and stuff like that.
I got an open offer out there to any of them gurus or whatever, or any of them guys that know all this stuff. I'd be glad for them to come on and teach us.
Yeah. You mentioned that last week. Actually, I think I've heard you mention it a few times.
Yeah. Bring it on.
Yeah, they're blocking you out there.
Hey, and this call here, I very seldom will block anybody, unless they get real. Not rude. I don't even mind if they're rude. Call me names or whatever they want. The thing of it is, if they won't give me a chance to put a little input here and there, well, I'll block them and they'll have to listen, and then I'll unblock them. But other than that, heck, I'm game. It's all fun. Why people so serious, man? You gotta lighten up. So.
Yeah, well, to be honest, I haven't checked out any of the other talk show channels. This is the only talk show channel I go to like at the minute. Like this is the first night I've actually been on it because you know me. I'm on a Linux box myself. Like so, I'm here on my girlfriend's computer at the minute. So and talkshoe don't support Linux at all. Like so.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a pain in the ass. I was trying to get some software up and running there earlier on, and it just won't. It's not having it. It's not having it at all. So just lucky to get this Windows thing working this evening.
Yeah.
But at least we know how it works. So hopefully next week maybe I can join in early in conversation. So.
Yeah, if things go right, I should be on next week. Try to keep it going, see what happens here. Because
yeah.
I think I know it works, and I hear other people doing it, and they're seeing it, and and it's simple.
No, I'll tell you what, man, it works. I'll tell you what, because if it didn't work, I wouldn't be here chatting to you now. I can tell you that for a fact, because I just watched people in there for the same type of stuff, and maybe slightly, maybe just but like there was fuck all in it, like and they were getting sent into prison. I got sent home. Didn't want to deal with it there and then. Come on in on the 16th, and and we'll accept pleas from the parties or whatever, and it's just, so the way I was thinking of, so he wants to know if I'm going to pay, so I'd go in on it then and say, yeah, sure, I'll pay. How would you have me pay?
Yeah. Yeah, I just want to say, guest 11, Angela's welcome on this call anytime. and I'll promise not to block her. Well, I'll try not to unless she starts running a pie hole and won't let me talk. But I might block her a little bit here and there. But she's glad to say anything she wants. Cuss me out or tell me how much she loves me or whatever. I have no problem with that. Well, why would I have a problem with that? That's probably a better way to put it.
You gotta pay Angela, huh?
Yeah, well, whatever. She might come on if you pay her, yeah. But I don't know how I could pay her. I own nothing, so.
You pay her with love.
Yeah. Yeah, her call's probably. She's got a call. See, her call's happening at the same time this one does. She's probably still on.
Okay, Angela Stark. Right.
Yeah, my private audio or something. She does, I think.
Right. What's her deal anyway? Money, is that?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. Money. Yeah. I don't know. She claims not to ask for donations, but all her friends say, "Oh, you got to send her something." So.
Right.
I don't care if people got Federal Reserve notes they're not using. I'd be glad to take them too. No big deal. I'd find a way to use them.
Well, I take them too, but they're not worth fuck all anymore.
Well, other people take them to get. I use them. The thing of it is, I find I get what I need whether I got them or not. It's weird.
Yeah, well, this is it. It's an imaginary sort of a crash anyway. It's all in the head. Like you'll still be able to get what you need at the end of the day.
Yeah. Seems to happen. Work for me. Yeah. And I'm a lot happier, I believe, too. Than I used to be. Used to worry about all the government kicking the door in and all this other happy shit. Not anymore.
Yeah, I'm hoping to get there someday.
Yeah. Well, I've had them forced. Well, so-called wife opened the door for them and they pushed their way in. But got me one time. No big deal. Not now, not what I know. It was my fault in the first place. So the way I see it, I doubt it's going to happen again. Though now they know me.
Yeah, well, maybe it might happen out of state.
Yeah, it could. But then again, I deal with them differently than I've dealt with them before. So, you know,
Yeah,
I believe it'd be all right.
Yeah, you worry about your immediate environment first, anyway.
Yeah. People are the same pretty much all over the place. Just treat them with love, honor, and respect, and I believe you'll get the same. On that note, I think I'm going to call it a night. Try and play one more song here. Or, well, I'll just play. What's that? Less asshole, more Batman. Heck, I was told Batman is an asshole. See, you gotta take it home, man. I'll tell you, and you can laugh at it. You know, get over it. Who cares what, you know, like, well, I shouldn't say I don't care what other people think, but what can I really do about it? It's the way I am, it's the way I act, and you know, if you think I'm an asshole, well, we could discuss the matter. Why do you think I'm one? And who knows, I'm probably going to agree with you. But, you know, point of it is, why get upset over anything like that, you know? like I was telling the guy before in the call, you know, they can call you anything they want. Does it mean you got to answer for it or answer to it, you know? Could Biker Bob and the Batman be one and the same? All men are pigs. Holy shit. That's what that little squiggly thing out of my ass is, huh?
All men are pigs, huh?
Yeah. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. But anyway, yeah, let me try to call it a night again here. Thanks, everybody, for coming.
All right, Batman. We'll chat to you again soon.
It's been fun. And what was I going to do here? Here we go. Play this song here.